Dealing game, you want to be very efficient, whatever home game you're dealing. You should always be well rested, well fed. Don't go into a game and you haven't eaten all day, because you're not going to focus. You're not going to be able to concentrate, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You're not going to make very good money. Always make sure you're rested, you've taken a nap beforehand, that you have a dealer, a second dealer alongside you that you can rotate with. Deal an hour on, deal an hour off, because maybe on that hour you need to use the restroom, maybe you need to get something to eat or drink. You want to always stay hydrated. Drinking lots of water is the best thing. And always have a second dealer, alongside with you that can help you, and it'll make the night go smoother, and you'll both do a great job because you'll be very alert. You won't be tired if you're dealing a game by yourself. I highly recommend you never do that. Be the only dealer in a home game. You should also, you're going to be very kind of pivotal in getting it together. So if a player calls in and he wants, he says that he's coming, make sure he's coming. Make sure you let the players know. If you say you're coming, show up, okay? Because now the next time that player says he's coming and he doesn't show up, you're not going to put him at the top of the list as part of the game. So it's kind of player etiquette, and you want to be kind of polite to the players and say, hey, listen, John, if you don't think you're coming, don't say you're definitely coming. Another important thing is, don't ever make comments about the hand. You, as a dealer, are impartial. You never want to show favoritism to one player because they're all tipping you. Unless you expect only one person to tip you, you could be in a lot of trouble. Never, ever make a comment. Even if you're thinking inside like, wow, that was a bad beat, or, oh, that's a really nice hand, never say it. It makes you look less of a dealer and less professional, and you are going to insult other players by making comments about their hand, like, oh, you're the loser, or that's a really nice hand, oh, tough luck. You're just going to piss the players off, and they're not going to tip you, and your whole objective is to make a lot of money and to seem as professional and as impartial as possible. Don't ever, if a player wants you to, a lot of times you're dealing in the game and you did the flop, and this guy bet and this guy didn't want to call the bet, so he folded, and you drop the deck, and he says, hey, John, show me what the turn card is. That term is called rabbit hunting. What he wants you to do is burn and turn so he could see if he made his hand. Don't ever do it. Don't ever do it, because if you do it for him, you're going to have to do it for everybody else. It's going to slow down the game. It's going to cause conflict, because he's going to see, wow, he would have hit that hand if he called. Now he's going to bother him all night. He's going to be in a bad mood. You know what I do? I just pretend like I didn't hear it. Oh, you know what? Next time. Or just ignore them. Say, no, we don't allow rabbit hunting, guys, because if they want to see what that next card is, they're going to have to pay for it. You just have to be polite about it, because players get very emotional when they're playing hands. They get upset because they're losing. They're going to tell you you're a bad dealer. Just ignore it. They're just frustrated because they're losing money, and it has nothing to do with you. 22 years of dealing, and I've heard I'm a bad dealer hundreds of times, and I happen to be one of the best. So it's not anything personal if you hear it. Don't ever argue with a player. Always treat them professionally. Rise above, because you're not upset, you're not losing money, and you want him to still tip you. So always be kind and courteous. And if he says you're a worse dealer, just kind of smile it and shrug it off. That's what makes a long-standing dealer make a lot of money and become professional, is when you don't get involved in the player's emotions. You don't look at hands. Sometimes they're going to fold a hand. They'll say, Bob, take a look at that hand. Look at that hand you dealt. So you know what? I can't. I just want to stay professional. But I believe whatever, you can tell me about it later. Best way to respond to that. Don't ever look at a player's hand. You know why? Because then you shouldn't be a dealer. It's so unprofessional, and you've made all the other players on the table angry, and you've slowed down the game. That's not your objective. Your objective is to keep that game moving, make your tokes and make everybody happy.